Well, welcome back, everybody, to our challenge podcast. Just Days and I this week, but we'll still do ups and downs. Who went up and who went down?
It, my ups and downs as the season progressed really aren't their standing in the house or how their strategy works, because there hasn't been a lot of strategy. We kind of know where everybody stands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Big T up. I really liked her in this episode. I was really happy to see her jump out of that plane. You can't not root for her.
I agree.
Like, there's just something about her that you just have to love, and you want to see her do good. I still don't think she'll win a final, but she's up for me. I'm really liking her as a contestant on the challenge. And then my down, I mean, maybe Fessy and Nani. I think Kyle and Amber even have a better shot at beating the two of those. Even if you put Kyle and Fessy in an elimination together, I'm still gonna pick Kyle to win, just because. And Nani, I don't see her winning anything, so we'll put Fessy and Nani both down.
We're on the same page because I 100% had the same thing. Big T up, Nani and Fessy down.
Wow.
We might as well start with Fessy. I feel like he was a big part of the episode, just being cocky, douchey all around. He thinks CT's washed up. He's better than CT. Any thoughts on Fessy in this episode?
Fessy has not proved himself. He has shown that, and he can use 3-foot snow all he wants as to why he gassed out, but he gassed out nonetheless. And he hasn't proved himself in elimination. Who has he gone up against?
He beat Nelson, and it was by dirtiness. So
okay, that's maybe that one, but like you said, it was a bit dirty the way he played. Just, you know what, Fessy, if you want to prove yourself when you come in next season, because he'll probably be invited back, volunteer yourself to go down against somebody like CT and show that you're the big dog in the house. I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over it too. It's not even, that's just like, who even are you, Fessy? You sucked on Big Brother. You were dumb. Now you're just out here being cocky. Like, I would prefer, I know how you guys feel about Polly on this podcast, but if there's going to be a douchey person from Big Brother, I would prefer Polly over Fessy.
I mean, Polly has fight in him. And whether you want to agree with me or not, he does have some semblance of strategy.
He does.
He is a big dick douchebag, but I agree though. I'd rather have him on here than Fessy without Cara Maria.
Agree 100%. Yeah, because those two together the last time
it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it was. Well, let's talk about Big CT, and they were training again. I think this was one of the other main threads of the episode was Big T basically getting herself into the game.
The first thing I wrote down for this episode is that Big T learned a valuable lesson with this whole CT thing, and that's that you have to look out for yourself. No matter what, you never know if it's going to be a single or a duo final. Look out for yourself first of all, and then your closest allies, because everybody in this house is going to lie to you. They're going to take every opportunity they have to get to that $1 million. So I'm glad to hear her say that. Look out for yourself, Big T. As far as this whole working out thing, it doesn't matter. Them training doesn't matter. If you put CT in a physical hall brawl or pole wrestle against almost anybody, she's probably going to lose. And then she couldn't run a mile or half a mile. Given I could not sprint a half a mile.
Me neither.
But CT's not wrong here. I mean, she does need to put some more effort into training, working out, trying to get stronger. If not stronger, at least build up some endurance. Try to run an hour on the treadmill or something. She's got to do something. She's gonna fizzle out really bad in the final if she makes it.
Yeah, but I will say, as bad as the editing has been at points this season, I do feel like at least Big T's character arc has been one of the better things of the season.
I agree. Like I said a while ago, I love watching her. Everything about her, she does have a lot of heart. Plus, she's like this super princess. Like, she expects everything to her, like she's this glorious queen, and I like that about her.
Yeah, me too. She's always entertaining too, and great in DRs. So
Yeah.
well, we'll go to the daily, the old parachute. You gotta see the puzzle from the sky. Pretty tough challenge. What were some of your main takeaways from the daily?
Somebody, I forget who it was. Somebody asked, "What would you do? Would you jump out of a plane for $1 million?" First of all, fuck yes. Second of all, I'd pay to jump out of a plane, so I don't know what the big deal is. I get that it's a heights thing, but second of all, I'm happy to see that nobody got hurt this time.
Yeah.
Because after what happened to Jordan, I just never saw them jumping out of planes again. Even climbing out of helicopters on a rope was dangerous. Ask Connor. But I'm really surprised they did this challenge. It could be pretty difficult. I don't know if I'd be able to focus on remembering those colors.
Yeah, that was a tough challenge. I don't think I would have done good at that either. Because unlike you, I would not pay to jump out of it. I would do it for $1 million, but
I'd be enjoying the view. Like, I'd be hard pressed to actually focus on one thing. But the harder part of the challenge for me would have been running half a mile.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just not in shape for that. I've never been in shape for that. And by the time I made it to the puzzle, I'd be too out of breath to actually put the puzzle together. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Kenny Loggins as they were jumping out of the airplane. Once again, for the millionth time, I have thoroughly enjoyed the music this season.
Yeah, the 80s theme has been one of the better parts of the season for sure. We talked about it last week, and they're definitely like Casey and Leroy are the team to beat, right? I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, they have to be. I mean, both are just physically fit and threats when it comes to competitions, eliminations. Both of them are super competitive. They're not going to stop. I wouldn't be surprised if they set some world record on the final. I mean, if they make it there, but I think everybody assumes they're going to make it to the final. But on top of that, their communication as a team is top notch. They don't argue. They communicate really well. Even if I think a lot of the season, their strategy may not have lined up perfectly, dealing with different sides of the house and whatnot, but they made it work. Made it work great.
You think they're also just kind of like the most level-headed team of everybody left, I guess?
Yes. As boring as we all think Casey is, when it comes to strategy and keeping your wits about you, she's at the top. She's never going to go off the rails. She's going to stay level-headed. And Leroy's the same way. I mean, it takes a lot to really piss him off to get him riled up. Otherwise, he's just there to have fun and compete. That's what he's there for.
What were your thoughts on the first time seeing Corey and Cam together as a partner? Because they also did pretty well, especially for it being a puzzle. Well, with Corey anyway, he's usually not the greatest at puzzles.
They're really good together. It goes back to communication and that thing that Nani keeps talking about having that chemistry. They have really good chemistry together. She would have been good picking him right off the bat. I mean, Corey's a beast. I think both of them are super physical competitors. Corey lacks a little bit in maybe the intelligence department, but I mean, he's another one of those but he's never going to quit. He's never going to give up. He's going to give his give it 100% every time he goes out there, and that's what you should expect out of a partner.
Did you have any other thoughts on the daily? Leroy and Casey won.
I thought once again this shows why nobody wants to be Anissa's partner. Maybe we'll get to it, but I'm kind of over Anissa. I do like her. I've liked her all throughout her challenge history, but give me a break. Like, you're on the show, we've talked about this before. The challenge is super physical now and takes endurance, and she doesn't have it. You need to either train your body to be able to do those things, or play on this new All-Star OG season. She just needs to give it up.
Yeah, I'm hoping the All-Star season is more her thing, for her speed, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited for All-Stars. It looks like we're going old school on all of it, so I'm cool with that. And then the last thing from the daily is, say what you want about CT, but he's right about Big T. If she can't run half a mile, she's gonna struggle in the final. So he may not have. He doesn't do a very good job of being eloquent with the way he says things.
He doesn't.
But he's correct.
Yeah, he's definitely right about that situation. Well, up next, we'll go to this 80s night party. Fessy couldn't even get his costume right to be the 80s theme. And then we have yet the argument between Fessy and CT on this 80s night.
It was disappointing, to say the least. At the beginning of the episode, they were really foreshadowing this big argument they were going to have. I was getting super excited to see them throw bows, and it was nothing. I don't even know how the conversation came about.
Yeah, it just cut to Fessy talking shit is all.
Yeah. I mean, he said that he tried to give CT a compliment or something. That's not how you give a compliment, apparently, which, knowing Fessy, he probably screwed that up.
He's an introvert. He doesn't know how to talk.
Yeah. I was ready to see him fight. It doesn't matter how old CT is or how much of a dad he is. He will crush some skulls if he has to. And Fessy's got a big one.
Yeah, that he does. Yeah, I thought that it was overall just kind of. I mean, that's kind of been the theme of the season. Everything's just not, and nothing's living up to the hype, basically.
Do you feel like there's a lot of it's over dramatic? Like, the season hasn't been filled with drama at all. So I feel like everybody's taking it to a level that it doesn't need to be. Like, if the season's boring, just be boring. Don't try to make it more than it is. Just do better next season.
Yeah, but then again, I question the editing, because if everything's boring, why aren't we getting more strategy? Unless the strategy's in there either, I guess.
I think the strategy has been there. I just think production has done a shitty job this year. I think they're struggling. To move. What do they call it? The fifth sport or something like that thing they have on Reddit and Twitter or whatever. That's what they're trying to make this into. And they're trying to cut out all the drama. I get it for, D and some of the things Rogan has said, Camilla, all these folks in the past that have said some pretty nasty shit. They're going a little overboard with it. Just do it and then apologize later, maybe. I don't.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do it and be like super nasty about it. I feel like you can still be dramatic without being super nasty about it.
I mean, I could at least seen some throuple action at the beginning of the season. Like, give me some of that or something. I mean,
yeah. Do you think it's because of ratings? Well, I mean, the ratings have gone up. The last few seasons
ratings have been good.
But yeah, the last three seasons have been dramatic, right? So I feel like you had Polly and Kara being ridiculous at times, and then you had. Well, last season, I guess maybe not, but
we don't have those folks this time. I mean, yeah, the only drama that we've had in the past couple of seasons was Polly, Cara Maria, and Kyle, or Melissa and Kayla. That's about it. So I think it's gotten to the point that the challenge is so physically competitive, and that's all they're focused on.
Yeah.
So they've either got to change something up, or I don't know. Like I said, that ratings are good. Maybe they just stick with it. Who knows? Maybe that's what
I
people
think
want to
that's what
see.
they're going to do for now. But I feel like they can at least do better on the strategy. Because when I'm editing, if someone's giving me drama, then the season's probably going to be dramatic, like season 1 of Isolation. But if someone's giving me strategy, then season 2 of Isolation is going to be more strategy. So I'm like, at least pick one or the other.
Yeah, I think there has been a lot of strategy. Again, I just think production has shit the bed. Maybe they're more focused on making things look good with all the, eye candy of competitions and scenic views and whatnot. They've lost their touch. I'm interested to see how this All-Star season works out, because the previews look great, and if they do really good, MTV might be losing some viewers to Paramount.
I hope it is a more old school, even though, like I said last week, I don't know, all these old people having drama might not be as compelling. Might be awkward. Well, we touched about Anissa. She always has the same storyline, getting thrown in right before a final. We've talked about it all season, honestly. I wish Fan Guy was able to make it tonight, because he thought she was finally going to make the final. But here we are again, and spoiler alert, she didn't. But thoughts on Anissa's storyline being the same?
I don't understand the deliberation argument with Kyle, Fessy, and CT, and Anissa getting upset. Was it again just bad delivery from Fessy and CT, or was Kyle literally trying to get away from Anissa, like, trying to get away scot-free?
Yeah, maybe it was a combination of things, because he did mention early in the episode how he kind of didn't want to be Anissa's partner in the final. So
Nobody does.
I know, which is I guess why she always gets cut before the final.
I mean, nothing else to say to it. I mean, again, Fessy and CT were telling the truth. Delivery might have been a little, bad, but again, if you're tired of getting cut right before the final, do better. Unless you want to play that up. I mean, sometimes folks just know they're not good and they make a storyline out of it.
True. But it's old for sure. And Big T gets her skull. We weren't sure it was going to be possible, but she did get her skull. I do feel like this elimination was definitely not Anissa's elimination, that's for sure. But any thoughts on the elimination challenge?
It's definitely a core strength type of elimination. I don't think Anissa has a lot of that. That's why somebody like Leroy does so good, because he's all abs and back muscles. I literally wrote down nothing good to say about this elimination except good job, Big T.
Yeah, Big T smoked her, but it wasn't Anissa's challenge, so Anissa didn't have a chance, unfortunately. But I was happy to see Big T get her skull.
Yeah, I was concerned. I was concerned when Big T said that she was considering picking Fessy. I was screaming at my screen, don't do it. Why would you do that?
I know, like you already think CT's a dick. You're gonna pick fucking Fessy?
Oh my. Yeah, he would just completely leave her. Like he wouldn't even attempt to help her out. So it's a great storyline, CT and Big T back together. I'm glad to see it went that way, regardless of how big of a dick CT made himself look.
Yeah, that was the successful story arc of the season, I guess, so far. What are your thoughts on Kyle and Amber B being a team?
I mean, they're not, if they're in the final, they don't have the worst odds. They're kind of middle of the pack. There's a chance they could win. Again, you can never count Kyle out. We haven't seen Amber what she can do in a final, but I mean, I think she could do pretty good if they're in elimination. I think Amber could. I mean, she goes against Big T or Nani, she's got a great chance of winning. And Kyle the same way. I mean, he could take on all of them. Again,
I think he would at least give a fight for sure.
Yeah, he's a brawler, a drunken brawler. You can't count him out.
Well, anything that I missed on this episode of the challenge?
No, I'm just kind of trying to predict what might happen next episode. We've got 3 episodes left, I think. Or was this episode 14? So there'll be 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's 15. So we have one more daily episode. We have the final episode, and then we have the reunion episode. Right? So I was
hoping next week would finally be the fucking final.
It's not. It can't be. I said this earlier in the season, and y'all kind of gave me shit that 10 people in the final is too many.
I feel like there's been episodes in the past where don't they do another challenge and then they go to the final, right? I feel like it's been on the same episode before.
Maybe. I don't know. I've forgotten a lot of things over the past years. But I wrote down that it has to be a purge, and looking back, it doesn't. I think they just get rid of 2 people. Maybe it's a double elimination,
and
probably. They just get rid of one whole team. If that's the case, I'm trying to look at the numbers. I mean, it looks like it could be. Looks like it could be Kyle and Amber, and then Fessy and Nani. Maybe. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those 2 go against each other in a double elimination. If that's the case, I mean, it could go either way. Again, I would actually like to see Fessy and Kyle go against each other. And if Kyle whoops his ass, Fessy can talk no more. Yeah, forget Fessy going against CT. Put him against Kyle. If he loses that, I mean, you can't talk. I do want to see the next elimination looks good, or the next daily looks good, and I completely forgot about this because this was on the very first preview for the challenge, and I completely forgot.
What was it? I don't even remember.
The little rolly balls. You're in a ball that's a cage and you're rolling around.
Okay.
Like you remember gladiators back in the day where they would roll, try to bump each other off. I think it'll be something like that.
Well, that is all I have, unless you have anything else to talk about.
No.
I mean, I will say though, I feel like I enjoyed the last 2 episodes more than a lot of the episodes of this season, at least.
Yeah, we actually got to see some strategy where, like, before the last 2, there was a big stretch where it was just a big mess. Like, we had absolutely no idea what was going on. It felt like a lot had been left on the cutting room floor. So, I mean, they showed up the last 2 episodes. At least, go out with a bang for the last couple. Production needs to redeem themselves.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. I'll see everybody next week, which I guess we'll have 2 fucking challenge seasons to cover next week.